everybody? Today I'm here to reveal The Mandalorian Episode 7, The Reckoning. I just had a chance to watch earlier today. It came out yesterday, actually, earlier this week because of Rise of Skywalker. By the way, watching it tonight, so review coming perhaps later tonight. Let's see how that goes. But talking about good Star Wars here, The Mandalorian did not disappoint. And Deborah Chow is back directing this episode, and she's doing a great job. And the more I see her work, the more I believe that Obi-Wan Kenobi series are in good hands. The other episode she directed, I think was 3, was one of my favorites, and this one was just fantastic. There's just so many good moments, it's hard for me to pick one. But just overall thoughts before I get into the spoilers. I thought that this had a fantastic pacing, beautiful directing. The action was fantastic. We also have the cuteness of Baby Yoda, you know, and not only that, it was also heartbreaking. So it had a little bit of everything, you know, and also this is the episode that introduces Moff Gideon, which is the villain. And I'm gonna tell you this without spoiling. He's definitely not a disappointing villain, you know. I was like, okay, I'm watching when he appeared. So great episode, I loved it, and I just can't wait to see what's happening next. Now let's get to the spoilers. If you're going, thanks for watching. If you're staying, let's talk about this awesome episode. Okay, so what happened in the overall story? You have the Mandalorian still looking after Baby Yoda in space, and I kind of feel bad for them because I was like, how much longer are they going to keep running away like that? Eventually something will happen, and this is kind of what happens in this episode. This episode is definitely not a filler. It really drives the story forward, and it really goes back and picks up on that storyline that happened earlier in the season when he had to rescue Baby Yoda. So he receives a message from this friend, saying that you know what, if the Empire is taking over our city, and it's you know, kind of messing up our business with the guilt, so please come kill this guy, and then everything will be forgiven, and then it'll be all fine. And obviously the Mandalorian doesn't, I know that he didn't really trust the guy, but he kind of doesn't have a option right now. Otherwise, he's just going to have to keep running and always be on the edge of his seat, always scared for Baby Yoda's life. So it makes sense that he would, you know, try to, okay, let's see what's up. But I was like, this sounds a little fishy. But anyway, so then he needs, of course, he's smart, he doesn't want to go alone. So then he goes back to that planet and talks to Cara Dune, which was awesome. I thought she was fantastic. She's a great fighter, so it's always nice to see. We see her, she's first fighting, and apparently that's what she does for sport. And it's always entertaining to see that. We all know she was an MMA fighter, so that is not a joke. She can definitely beat anyone, and I totally believe that. So he goes back there and talks to Cara Dune. I need your help. It's a job. And the way that he convinces her, it's hilarious. You just say it's against the Empire, and she goes, I'm in. She really, really hates the Empire. So after he gets Cara Dune to join the party, right, they're inside the ship, and then we have one of my favorite scenes in which Baby Yoda shows to be a little bit mischievous, and that was hilarious to watch. You know, I really felt like a little kid doing something he shouldn't. So in this particular scene, we have Mando and Cara Dune. They're talking about the guns and all of that, talking about a plan, and Baby Yoda kind of peeks on them and say, oh, now it's my time. So he goes back upstairs, right, at the ship, and then he just grabs the control, and the ship is just going all over, and it was so hilarious because he was just like kind of giggling. And then later I thought, I wonder if he was, I know, if he had like a premonition, he thought something bad would happen and he was just trying to take them somewhere else. Not sure, but anyways, that's where Cara Dune said, you're gonna need someone to watch this thing. We're gonna need a babysitter. And that's where he goes back to Quill. So I Have Spoken is back, and it was very satisfying to see him. But this time he has, you know, the droid with him that is played by Taika Waititi, and obviously the first thing that Mando wants to do is shoot the droid, and that was a hilarious scene. I really enjoyed it, but he said, you need to trust my work, and he said something very interesting. He said droids are not evil or good. You know, they are whatever you make them, whatever program you put on them. But Mando still is not very trustful, but he has a valid point. He said that's true. And before that, we have a really cute montage of, you know, the robot kind of having to learn everything because he erased his memory, so he's no longer like a killing machine like before. He's not programmed to kill Baby Yoda anymore. Now he's kind of a helper, and I thought that was kind of funny. It just everything in the details in this episode was just, it was so rich, you know. I loved that, and just to see Quill back was so nice. But then later on, we know what happened, and yes, that is kind of heartbreaking. It seems like he's dead for good. I'm not sure how he would survive. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, we'll get there. And then we have the nice gang back together. That was really cool. And also he said, I need to bring the blurbs. What do they call those weird creatures? So he gets Quill to also join the party. And I was like, okay, they have the gang back together. That's going to be a fun party. And of course, there's a lot going on in this episode. It's like about 40 minutes. So then they go back, right, to that planet. And it's so fishy because when he see his friend, right, he goes, well, she should stay here. And I was like, come on, man. Like you're basically saying that you're going to, you know, stab him in the back just by asking Cara Dune to stay behind. That doesn't make any sense. So then in the middle of the night, they are attacked by these giant monsters. They look like dragons. And I was like, that's really cool. And you know, the way that the scene was shot, I was like, Deborah Chow really has an idea of how create tension. And not only that, like, it had elements of horror. It was really cool because you didn't know where it was coming from. And there was also a red color because it looked like they were surrounded by lava. It was just such a great scene. And Carl Weathers' character gets attacked and pretty badly, and he's about to die. And Baby Yoda comes to the rescue. Oh my God, I forgot to talk about force choking. How could I forget that? Let's just go back about that. So see, there's just so much going on in this episode that I was like, it was so good. Before that happened, we saw Baby Yoda using the force again. And not only that, we also saw that he has potential to kind of do evil things. And it really kind of made me think about what Quill was saying with the droids. You know, they are what you make them. So that would be kind of the same thing with Baby Yoda. If you think about it, he could become evil if the Empire were to you know, raise him, you know, and make him do evil things. But now that Mandalorian, you know, is kind of his dad, and you know, because I couldn't believe he was like literally force choking her, and I was like, Darth Vader vibes. I was shocked. And even like his eyes goes, I was like, holy moly. And you know, and then the Mandalorian goes, no, she's my friend. So that was the first time he uses the force. And then the second time over here is to heal this, you know, Carl Weathers. I keep forgetting what the name of his character is. But anyways, you can also see that he's also pure, you know, he has a potential to do good things as well. Wow, we have never seen force powers that can heal, but that is not unheard of. It is part of Legends, which is one thing that Disney said it was no longer canon, right? I guess it is canon now. So Baby Yoda has this power of healing, and it was so cool. He just touches Carl Weathers on the arm, and then the poison is gone and it's completely healed. I've never seen that before. And he just like, poof. I think he doesn't pass out, and he doesn't seem to be as drained as when he used it the first time we see him do it, but he still was like, poof. I was like, whoa, that was a cool scene. And of course, that is what causes Carl Weathers' character to have a change of heart, because he was indeed going to betray Mando, and I guess we all knew that. It was just a question of when and how, and I think Mando was prepared for that as well. That's why he brought Cara Dune, Gina Carano's character, as well as Quill to watch Baby Yoda. Anyways, even though Carl Weathers is now on their side, they still have to deal with the Empire and have to deal with all these things. And we have this awesome scene, right? We see that guy, the gangster that we met on the first episode or second episode, that's obsessed with the, I think the second episode is obsessed with the baby Yoda, and he's just there's a really cool scene over there where he goes to, I thought that he was the boss, but apparently he's not the boss. The boss is Moff Gideon, which is played by this Giancarlo Esposito. You know, he was an awesome villain and in Breaking Bad, and he did not disappoint here again. So his character was very threatening. That's what the Empire, you know, that's what is cool about the Empire, and I think it's what Disney kind of missed with the new Star Wars, with the First Order, because they're not scared. They're just like a bunch of yelling brats, but Moff Gideon is scary, and he has a presence, you know, the way that he speaks. And at first he comes on a TIE fighter in style, you know, he has a cape, and I was like, Darth Vader vibes again. That was pretty cool. And he's addressing Mando, said, you have something that I want very much, and I will have it very soon. And at the same time that this is happening, well, Quill is being attacked and potentially killed, so that was pretty heartbreaking, you know, when I saw Baby Yoda on the ground, the camera is like doing the slow move. I was like, oh no, I saw it coming, and then we do see him. It was so sad. I was like, yeah, I teared up a little bit. You know, Quill is such a good character, and that's one of the things that this series are doing very well, getting you attached to these characters, you know. And then like when you see a character you really care and has a nice line dying like that, it's so heartbreaking. Well, I'd like to you know, hope that perhaps that's not what happened, but I don't know. It felt really straightforward that yes, they have Baby Yoda now, and made me wonder what's the deal with the robot, because apparently he is, even though he's supposed to help, he can also defend people, so he could defend Quill. I'm hoping that he's just hurt, just because I think he's such a good character. I don't want to see him go, but well, I don't know. And then he ends on a major cliffhanger. We don't know what's going to happen, but we can have an idea that yes, the guy is going to put his hand on Baby Yoda. I don't know. I just don't want it to be season 2 about rescuing Baby Yoda again. You know, I don't want to see them separate. I think Baby Yoda really needs Mando, and well, he's in big trouble because he's surrounded right now. And I was like, how is he going to get out of that? You know, how? Anyways, guys, fantastic episode. Like I said, great pacing. It had horror element, it had action, it had, you know, cuteness, it had heartbreak. This is what Star Wars is supposed to be. And that is my review. Let me know on your thoughts down below. Did you enjoy this episode? And later on, expect my review of The Rise of Skywalker. Still have a bad feeling about it, but we shall see. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!